right now.
Live, up and down the coast, from the beaches to the valleys. At 5, this is KEYT News Channel 3, where the news comes first.
Our top story at 5, the big surf up and down the coast. Local surfers are loving the waves and the warm weather, but the waves are causing chaos at the Santa Barbara Harbor.
And you're looking live at the Santa Barbara Harbor. Our First Alert Weather Center has been tracking some big waves today. And just south of here, one wave turned deadly, sweeping 4 people off a jetty in Redondo Beach. 1 man died, 3 others had to be rescued. Good evening, everybody. I'm CJ Ward.
And I'm Beth Farnsworth. More problems surfacing this week for boaters using the entrance at Santa Barbara's harbor.
Those big waves we just showed you are pushing more sand around and nearly blocking the harbor entrance. Chief Meteorologist Alan Rose is in our First Alert Weather Center tracking the surf. But first, News Channel 3 senior reporter John Palmentary is live down at the harbor. And John, you found out it's hurting some of the businesses there.
And if you recall, earlier this week, there was some very encouraging news that the dredge operation here in the harbor was going to start a month earlier than scheduled. You see it out there. But if you notice, you don't see much else out there in the way of boating activity, because with these large swells you're speaking of, it's bringing in more sand. It's clogging the entrance. Only certain boats can go in or out. And for most of the other boats there, we're going to be shut down until maybe Sunday afternoon. The entrance to the Santa Barbara Harbor gets a direct hit, again with spectacular waves and a large ocean surge. With it comes exciting surfing conditions, but also trouble for commercial and recreational boating. There's more sand in precisely the wrong place, the main channel, which is already overloaded with a wall of sand.
The dredge is operating, they're digging away, but they're having a hard time keeping up with the sand that's coming into the harbor. They're having a hard time making headway.
For lobster fishermen bringing in their catch,
It's like threading a needle.
and to get their traps and their catch in, timing is everything.
I came in last night at low tide at sunset, and it was very shallow. I was lucky I didn't hit bottom.
Here, boat captains trying to make it into the harbor with shifty sand and high spots are doing a twist to get in without damaging their vessels.
Because of all the sand that's accreted in the harbor, we don't have a standard channel, if you will, to go out of. So boats are using their sounders to find their way, to wiggle their way out of the harbor. And it's be honest with you, it's risky business. We didn't expect that much sand to come back into the harbor so fast, but this swell came up quite quickly in the last 48 hours and moved an enormous amount of sand back into the harbor. The good news is we're digging away, and so just a few days we think we'll be able to punch through.
And back here live at the Santa Barbara Harbor entrance, you do see some very small boats that are going in and out. But we have talked, look at the waves that are crashing right there. It shows you how much sand is right there underneath the surface of that water that's stretching across from Sandspit towards the wharf and West Beach. And we talked to some boat owners who say they're just not going to go out even at high tide at this point because the depth is really shrinking and they just can't navigate through safely. We'll have more coming up tonight and tomorrow morning. We'll watch this very closely down here at the Santa Barbara Harbor, where there's 1,100 boats in that harbor right now. Reporting live, I'm John Palmentary, News Channel 3.
Chief Meteorologist